This episode of Bonfireside Chat is brought to you by FalseAudible.com. It stands in the ruins of a crumbled castle, surveying all it destroyed. If you're able to defeat FalseAudible.com, you can go beneath the Nexus and find RealAudible.com and go to audibletrial.com/Bonfireside Chat. Get a free audio book trial today. Thank you.
Some of our landings were desperate adventures. We are now prepared to meet the inevitable counterattacks with power and with confidence.
My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Kole Ross.
I'm Will Owens.
And you're listening to Bonfireside Chat. It is an undead favorite.
And this episode, we are talking about Worlds 1-3 and 1-4 of Demon's Souls. And as you heard, we are joined by Will Owens once again, returning guest, and the writer and curator of Backlog Killer. Hey, Will, thanks for joining us.
Barely the writer.
Wow.
Definitely the curator.
Yes.
Founder.
Definitely the curator.
Yeah.
Curator.
I have lots of games I'm curating.
The assembler, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I really hate that verb. Like, I try and, like, obliterate that because I used it for a little while. I was like, no, I don't like that. But I used it right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think that you referred to us as curators of things before, and I never said anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't tear me up inside or anything.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like...
It's a little douchey.
Not,
it's like a little bit internet douchey. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I recognized it. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm not trying to call you out on it now. Or if it was a big deal, I would have said something about it. But I remember being like, not the word I would have used.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Oh,
The little behind the curtains for you folks.
Oh boy.
Conflicts that never were.
the conflicts that barely were worth it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, we're here to talk about a really cool area of Demon's Souls.
Absolutely, and we're rounding things out. This is the penultimate episode of season 2 of the show. Super excited, and this is kind of where we're going to save, it's going to seem a little strange, but we're going to save a lot of the ending chat and world cosmology stuff for the next episode, just for the wrap up, even though a lot of it, kind of comes home here.
Right.
But that's still a little bit ways off. Before you can even go into World 1-3, you have to kill one of the archdemons, which, is your signal not to go here until a little bit later because it's a pretty tough area. Yeah. And there's a special orange fog gate that will go down. Or it's not orange. That's in Dark Souls. This one's just a regular, thicker.
Yeah, it's a little bit more wavy and distortion-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once it does, you can go kind of into inside the castle of Balteria.
Yeah, and in a game that is much more artificially divided than Dark Souls, this seems like a very, very heavy-handed division. Actually, like it breaks up a little bit of the logical flow. And maybe we talked about it in the 1-2 episode, but this kind of, if you got to this point and you were thinking I'm going to progress through all of World 1, then all of World 2, that disavows you of that notion in kind of an inelegant way.
In one way, it makes sense in that there'd be this kind of gatehouse, to kind of prevent you from getting there, because the whole thing about Boletaria is it's a defensible position. Yeah. But what's to stop you from going around? You can climb that wall. You can go to the approach from another direction.
Right.
Like what happens if you go to Boletaria from the north? Like it does feel like a real weird kind of bottleneck.
You go to 1-3 via 2-1 by those gargoyles.
Yeah. Why not?
That's one thing I like better about Dark Souls is how it handled the don't go here. Instead of putting up a fog gate, they just put super hard, monsters there, so there's no way you can get through them. I thought that was more elegant than the early fog gate. They still had the later ones, but by that time, it's not too heavy-handed, I guess.
Yeah, but by that time, depending on who you believe or who you listen to or what you yourself believe, the game had already kind of gone off the rails and broken its structure. So,
yeah,
I don't believe that, but that's what some people say.
Yeah, and the nice thing, I like that the meat wall way too, because then it's just going to tempt you to, keep throwing yourself up against it until you can get through it, and people are going to find exploits and find ways around it and all that jazz. Mm-hmm. It's really fun. That's a real fun way to do it, to make it discouraging but not impossible.
Yeah. But here, I mean, we've killed 4 of these archdemons, so let's go.
Yeah,
giddy up.
Well, or go ahead.
Just a peek behind my curtain. I had not in my game. I'm returning to a game about 4 years old. My save game that was at this point, and when I booted it up, I was in the Valley of Defilement 5-1, New Game Plus. I had only beaten World 4. Everything else was only up to the second Archstone, so I tried to take this down at that level.
Yeah, we kind of put Will through a challenge run on accident.
Yeah.
And spoilers, I did not make it all the way.
Oh.
But Will has done it before, even when we had Will on for Dark Souls, just talking to him on Facebook and stuff and chatting around. He is kind of an early champion of Demon Souls to me.
Yeah, I like it. I like it better, personally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, regardless of which, and the difficulty in this area kind of ramps up gently too. So even though it's a difficult area, right off the bat, you're not faced with too much, even though it gives you the impression that you will be. This first little courtyard area with the fountain of corpses, like this corpse yard in the beginning, and then those carriages with the dogs in them. Like, how much time did you spend thinking they were going to jump out at you? Because I spent a lot of it.
Yeah,
the first time.
Very much on pins and needles going through this area.
Yep. I was just, I'm going to hear a crack, and then dogs are going to be all up in my back.
Yeah, they're going to be all Resident Evil up in this piece.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they're in there, and they're just menacing you.
Yeah, they can't open a door. And then once I figured that out, I was like, oh, okay, they're dogs. They're not raptors.
Life hack for dogs. They cannot open
Put them
doors.
in a door. It's how you save dog meat at the end of Fallout 1. Yeah. And it's also how you prevent yourself from getting killed by dogs in the courtyard of 1-3.
Unless it's a doggy door, in which case, run.
In which case, we're all fucked.
Yep.
In which case, suicide now.
In which case, bite down on the cyanide capsule that's installed in your teeth. In case of the dog contingency. The dog delusion? I'm not even sure, but yeah, they're in here. The corpse yard is a great way to put that.
Yeah,
actually, I feel bad that I didn't come up with it, but
well,
yeah,
but we came up with it as a team.
High five! Yeah,
high five.
But running up from this here, so there's a locked door over to the right, and we'll get to that later. But a theme in this area is these fucking fat officials.
Yeah. And it pays off so well. Like, it's so good. But this guy, this asshole has just been taunting you the whole time.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's the guy who, if you were able to just go straight through one, he's the guy who sicked the archers on you when you're about to fight the Tower Knight.
Right.
And then, that same one, you're chasing him and he runs away. And you kind of head up this large set of stairs. He sets off a trap. It's like a little boulder trap. Which, not too bad. You have, like, enough time to roll out of the way. Like, this has not got me before. But
and even when it gets you, it's not fatal. Instantly, anyway.
Yeah. It's more of a fuck you. But then when you get to the top, he runs through the kind of direct path and kind of crushes one of his own guys.
Yeah.
A poor, like, Murray. Murray!
No!
He does his, like, the fat, like that little, like, the fat official demon laugh.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
It's like a ghostly Dr. Hibbert.
Yeah, a little bit. Like it goes up
Hibbert.
A little bit.
Yeah,
like it's a little bit like dun dun.
Yeah. Dancing through the hallways. Yeah. So you are consigned to the hallways, which in my notes I wasn't even able to keep track of, like, specific twists and turns. All that you can say back here is there's a bunch of soldiers and also these Imperial spies. Have they showed up before at all? These Imperial spies?
No. Yeah. This is their first appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all sons of bitches. Like, I found this level to be, the first time I went through, even playing through with magic and having, like, second chance and stuff, I found this really hard. Just because it's so relentless, and these guys, they're the same enemies that you would face in 1 and 2, but they're much tougher. Like, they hit a lot harder.
Yeah.
And especially and the knights as well. So the red-eyed and blue-eyed knights you run into.
Yeah, and there's a much higher proportion of knights here. Even
there's so many enemies, like in this area. Like, you're just fighting so many so many guys, and this is this series of like defensible positions. Like you get this impression that the bad official is just kind of falling back to these different, this kind of set pieces.
And what's crazy about this area, specifically 1-3 and beyond, 1-2 definitely has a gimmick, but the last part of this doesn't have that much of a gimmick. Like 1-3 is pretty much just a technical fight through this kind of video game ass area.
It's a castle. Yeah. Like and it actually, the cool thing is like, it looks like a castle. Like if you had that, what's that guy's name? That David, does those children, like David Macaulay? That David Macaulay children's book about castles, and it tells you what a castle really is and shows you the cool, awesome, like it does these awesome cutaway illustrations. Like this, looks like a castle. It looks like one of those.
Yeah. And I've just internalized castle as video game level.
Yeah. They existed, Cole.
I know.
They were things.
In fact, they still exist. There are plenty of castles you can go to on a school field trip or by yourself at your local library in your imagination with the Muppet Babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
or just tune into Castle on. Did you like Firefly? You won't like this
with an aging Nathan Fillion.
Yep.
Yeah. It's been 12 years, folks.
Get over it, brown coats.
Brown coats.
You assholes have a convention. It's unbelievable.
God, have you ever had the misfortune of working with a brown coat?
Nope.
Okay, now hold on a second.
Okay.
What is?
Okay. So have you watched Firefly?
Nope. Heard about it.
Okay. It is a good show. I enjoy that show. Brown
Coats.
the
one by Joss Whedon. Isn't it?
Yeah. It's like the space western, right? Yep. Which should be up a lot of people's alleys. Like it's a good show. It's a nice, like the characters are cool. It's sci-fi, comic booky. Browncoats are the rebel faction in Firefly, and also people who call themselves browncoats are universally neckbeards, who really, really are still angry at Fox for canceling Firefly.
Yeah,
After what? It was 2 seasons?
Just
one season in a movie.
Oh, okay, well,
a bunch of middling comic books.
That's
which is it's a Joss Whedon thing.
Yeah,
so people don't. There's no like I feel like. Like people I know in real life, like I have friends who are like, oh, I like Joss Whedon, okay, like casual Joss Whedon fans.
Yeah.
And then, but the vast majority of people are just in for a penny, in for a fucking mint,
in
just
for a ton. Yeah,
in for a ton, like just ridiculous, like wearing all these, wearing shirts like Whedon horror and stuff like that. I've seen all that stuff. It's ridiculous. And the show also does that.
Yeah,
it's a little bit crazy. It's also got like a little bit of like the fashion to the show is a little bit steampunky, so like sometimes when you see these brown coat people who like dress up in the cosplay, it's a little steampunky too.
Yep.
So
yeah. No, but my watching Firefly was delayed by like 3 years by working with somebody at GameStop. He was like a third keyer and assistant manager who would not stop fucking talking about it. He was like, "Hey, the guy who played the pirate in Dodgeball? He's like totally the pilot, and it's awesome. When we go to this convention and blah blah blah." And
it's so weird. There's only like 18 episodes of the thing, or
13,
something like that.
13 episodes,
it's 13
and
episodes.
a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, and again, it's frustrating when something's like it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's a good show. It's fun to watch. Like it's self-contained. I really like it.
Yeah, there isn't an episode that I would say is bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but chill the fuck out. It's so hard not to judge something by the worst of its fans.
Oh yeah.
Like I do that too, and that's a real trap.
Mm-hmm.
You get into like there are many things that I have just never experienced because I've just been turned off by the people's enthusiasm for it.
Yeah.
You really like this?
I'm
not
dare
gonna
people
like it.
things strongly.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy likes it. I'm not going to like it.
Yeah, but I forget how we got to that. But browncoats, something. I don't know.
Yeah. Glad I haven't run into one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you will.
Is this a trap?
It's on Netflix. I would recommend giving it a watch.
Yeah, it's actually a good show. We're recommending it after just the fans are the worst, but it's actually a really good show.
Yeah,
I'll see about attaining it since I can't use Netflix.
Ah, yes, yeah. Also, Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I judge Dave Matthews Band and Dave Matthews Band fans, and I feel pretty good about my impressions of both in most cases. Not all.
How about this, Gary? I've seen Dave Matthews Band live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My parents took me.
But before or after their flautist died.
Wow, that's dark.
Oh, I know. They're different bands.
Where were you on the night
it was it was definitely before they dumped the shit off the bridge.
Oh yeah, I remember
They
that.
dumped shit off a bridge? I thought
Yeah,
that was
they
the
dumped
Foo
a bunch of
Fighters in the
feces
video.
on their fans.
Oh, you're
From
not
the tour bus.
Yeah, Dave Matthews
Holy
dumped like tons of tour feces all over his fans.
Tour feces. Yeah, you got people walking around with the pimp skitters eating McDonald's.
Yeah,
Shit.
if you got tour, you got bus stomach. You don't want to get a face full of that.
Yeah,
van.
no, you're getting a face full of sinner's ass there. Fuck.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I didn't know it was on the fan, so it's a bunch of like 40-year-old men in golf shirts getting
like getting involuntarily tie dyed.
Ugh.
Yeah. How was your Dave Matthews Band experience, Will?
I remember Eddie Vedder showed up, so that was interesting.
Hi.
Did him and Dave have a fight?
It was,
Off.
I think it was Veterans Day.
Okay.
Oh man, veterans.
They both served, and that's what their common bind is. The Eddie Vedder is more of the Dave Matthews Band does more of the like he's a little bit more, like sounds like a normal person singing backwards.
Well, about
like
this,
he's in the Black Lodge.
They covered All Along the Watchtower, but
oh great,
Oh, cool.
Really good.
There must be some kind of way out of here. Oh God, all these people are blocking the exit. I'm trapped. I can't breathe. I'm on the ground. I'm being carried to the medical tent by Wavy Gravy being fed orange slices and bottled water.
Yeah, I also think no, it has to be a false memory. I think Darius Rucker was there, but that has to be a false memory. I don't know why
Darius Rucker. Oh man, my grandpa, my deceased grandpa used to golf with Darius Rucker.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because my grandpa was in the Columbia, South Carolina Country Club, and so is Darius Rucker. Yeah, Hootie.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Like to laugh at me when the dolphins make me cry.
Yeah. Well, and,
Poetry for our ages.
And Darius is crossing over into country, so good for him.
Yeah, he's on, we'll get back on topic at some point. There's some country festival coming up in Oregon, and there are billboards on the bridges in the city for it, and Darius Rucker is playing at it. And I don't know when this thing is happening, but I feel like this billboard has been up for like a year and a half. So whenever I go across this bridge, there's this gigantic, like 40-foot tall, smiling Darius Rucker, like welcoming me to the west side of Portland.
His cover of Wagon Wheel not as good as Old Crow Medicine Show, but pretty good, not bad.
Yep, you heard it from Fireside Chat, the Dark Souls Games podcast. Darius Rucker's cover of Wagon Wheel, not so bad.
We are so far afield.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my fault. Sorry.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Oh man. But yeah, you're back here. Seems like a castle. Okay. Castle is not Firefly, although they try and make it like that.
Yes, and failed.
Malcolm Reynolds is aging poorly.
The first place I would say that like the notable set piece is when you climb up that set of kind of blind alleys that are full of the Imperial spies, which is where they're going to get you. There's several traps. Yeah. Like, oh, it's a slave shield. Oh shit. One of these guys comes down, and then there's that top area where you go up into that landing near the merchant, and there's just the tons of crossbowmen and the fat official kind of walking back and forth like a general, giving orders,
conducting them.
Yeah, which is tricky. That was tricky on my no distance weapon, no ranged weapon playthrough. Like ordinarily, I just lava bow them shits. Yeah, but if I on my meat cleaver run, that was a little bit trickier. Mm-hmm. So I think for some reason I didn't have the Thief's Ring either. I think I was using a heavier armor, so I had the Ring of Herculean Strength or the Giant Strength Ring. Yeah.
Yeah, and also if you're running up there and like, oh, I can go into this little hut and pick them off from up there. Nope, Red Eye Knight, also Dreadly Merchant. Yeah. But yeah.
That Red Eye Knight, that's my first playthrough when I used that Poison Cloud, or the Plague Cloud is so good for that area. Because you just fill that whole hut with plague, and then just go in and take over.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, there are plenty of these choke points, and I feel like saying Blind Alley. Is Blind Alley British for dead end? Okay.
I don't know.
Somebody write in, because I can't be asked to Google. Yeah. But yeah. So you take those guys out, and you're running up to cross over the wall, and there's the hardest fucking Red Knight in the game with the Claymore right there.
Yeah. You can actually arrow that guy too, like when he's walking back and forth.
Okay. I was a mage, so it was actually pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah, I just noticed it real bad on my, because I'm doing Meat Cleaver this time, as I've said throughout these past several months. But yeah, pretty hard.
Yeah, he's tricky.
Yeah, lots of do-overs up to this point.
Yeah, and this is before you can get. There's a shortcut to go back. You can just kind of jump off this wall and get back to the area with the thing. But you don't unlock the actual shortcut for this level until quite a ways, until almost the end of it. Right. Of course. Mm-hmm. Take off that guy, and then there's this kind of series of little landings and ladders. They go upwards with various crossbowmen and halberders and such. Yeah. And fat officials, which if you haven't taken him out from a distance, he is like they're never that much of a threat, but there's kind of always something behind you when you're in this area or above you, and lots of range. Again, just very defensible. Yeah. So really, you really want to just do your Souls 101 and draw people off one at a time. Yeah. Charging in.
And this whole climbing the tower that is covered with these crossbowmen and everything, very much like you are laying siege to this place, and it's kind of badass to be able to cut through all of them, recognizing what has been laid before you, right?
And in stark contrast to Will's current playthrough that he did for the show, like the fact that I'm doing this second to last, which is oftentimes what I do, but not always, meant that I was almost as strong as I was going to be. Right. When I got here this time. So it was pretty satisfying, and I didn't have too much of a hard time with that. Yeah. Leading into it. Yeah. So
when you take out that fat official general, he has a set of keys on him, which makes this into kind of like a little bit of a side quest area, somewhat. Yeah. Once you get down there, do you want to do that after we save Ostrava?
Yeah. Well, there's actually kind of three side quest things that happen here. So. Kind of rich in that way, but yeah, let's just wrap up the regular, the rest of the level, and then do the side stuff.
Let's do that. Yeah. So you get to the top of this tower, and then it gives you a big overview of the area with the sandbags and the barriers, and oh crap, we need to lay out the cavalry because he's almost there, including a bunch of Red Eye Knights, a bunch of Blue Eye Knights, and a fat official and regular soldiers. Like, oh shit, I need to get ready for this. Yep.
And a bunch of dead horses.
Yeah. Sends dead horse.
Yep. So yeah, if you can kind of go to your right and get towards the fog gate, that will get you out of the game. If you want to unlock that shortcut and do some of the side questery stuff, you kind of double back there. And there's the fat official. The run that you originally chased through is standing by the gate, like a D-bag. And you kill him and you open the gate. I guess we should talk about Ostrava now because he's right there.
Yeah. So yeah, this is he's standing where you were when you watched Murray get crushed by the gate, and he's also cornered by, I believe, a couple of knights and some of the warriors, and you have to save him. Not like the come out to play warriors, but the regular hollow warriors.
Nor the ultimate warrior.
Oh. He's not insane and racist.
Yeah. He's I love his dialogue here too, because at this point it's become kind of a joke. Like this is the third time where you've just kind of showed up and he's just the first time okay, fine, you've gotten yourself on this little ledge, makes sense. Second time, okay. You went down this tunnel, you're at the end of it, you don't want to go out, it's dark and scary, I understand.
He was captured,
but now,
right?
Yeah. At this point, though, you get there and he's, help, soul-starved madmen are after me. And at this point, it becomes like, okay, Ostrava, okay, I will just continue to save you over and over and over. It gets funny. I actually like the character and I think he's kind of sad. But I remember the first time this happened, I definitely rolled my eyes a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, this is what happens in Boletaria. I save this Ponce from monsters because he's worthless. He's a worthless Ponce.
He's kind of, to somebody who came here from Dark Souls, he seems like he's going to be your Solaire, but he's really Sigmar.
Yeah.
Sigmar,
yeah.
And his quest line is just as finicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lot like Sigmar. Except he's more often in danger. It's actually like this is one of the few times like there's actually a time limit to save him. Like he will die.
Yeah.
Like any NPC, he has thousands of hit points, but he will die. And then a thing that can happen is that he will spawn in this level. So if you go back to the beginning and then go back to the Nexus and come back, I don't know exactly what the triggers are, but it's happened for me before where he's been here and then just kind of exposed to those warriors.
Yeah.
And I just started walking my way through there, without hurrying. Maybe I went and rescued Yuria, and he ended up dying on one of my playthroughs because I didn't realize he would still be there.
That's a huge problem for his entire quest line, actually. In most areas, if you free him and then proceed not to complete the area, he will respawn the next time you come in and just be torn apart by the mooks that are along his
dumb little patrol route.
Yeah. and I think his 1-3 patrol route is just up that aforementioned
into his corner.
Yeah.
That corner's still doing good. Yeah. Better go back and check the gate.
Yeah.
Gate's good? Okay.
Yeah.
Corner bound.
Yeah, and if you leave the level, can't the key disappear? Maybe that's spoilers, but yeah, you mess that up, yeah.
Yeah. You can definitely lose the key forever if you don't.
Are you talking about the mausoleum key?
Yeah.
Yes.
If he dies and you don't get it, I think it respawns at his origin point, but you only get one chance at that. So I was reading about it today. So I think that if he dies, then that's where it'll show up, is where he like spawns in the room. But then if you don't pick it up on that run and go back to the Nexus or die, then it disappears.
Yeah.
So it's still, you're right. It's still super finicky. I think it gives you like one chance, and you'd have to know to check where he spawns rather than where he died or on his little tiny patrol route. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's very finicky. I don't know if it's quite Sigmar finicky, because Sigmar is super finicky.
Yeah.
But this is it's pretty frustrating.
At the very least, this has a linear progression in its favor. Like you know if you done fucked up in 1-2.
We never have to go down to Blighttown.
Yeah.
Like that weird Sigmar thing. Like, I'll just go check the swamp for a little bit.
Yeah.
Why would I ever go back here?
Just go check the swamp for sleepy people.
Yeah, that's what's happening in Narsh. But anyway, so after you save him, and it's kind of hard to save him too, like 3 blue-eyed knights at the same time, mm-hmm. A little bit tricky. But once you save him, you get a pure clear stone, which is a decent reward, but you can already have received several of these.
Right.
That's what you use to do the
quality.
The quality. Yeah, and at this point, I had a +5 quality weapon. This is my second run through. I've done a quality build before, so you don't really need this stone at all. Like, it's kind of an underwhelming reward.
Yeah.
So,
but if you didn't get it somewhere else, quality is definitely a good way to go.
Yeah, quality rules. Yeah. And you can buff it. I didn't realize you could still buff a quality weapon. Mm-hmm. Like it's actually really, really powerful. So
that's better, because I had Crescent, full Crescent, which was difficult to get.
Yeah, on my first playthrough, my mage playthrough, I did full Crescent, and I can't remember what hoops I had to jump through to get the pure. The pure stone for that, but it was much more tricky.
That's one of the hardest ones to get all the way upgraded to.
Yeah, it's not as bad as sharp
spawns.
stone.
Yeah, it only spawns a few times, and if you don't get it, you have to wait till New Game Plus.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
So if you've invested all that time into getting that, and you want a fully upgraded weapon, you're in trouble. Especially if you're a mage. Yeah.
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 Well, I guess you could do, what's the other one?
The moon.
Moon, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess you could do that one.
Yeah. But one of them has better magic regen than the other one does. I think Crescent's the stronger magic regen, but worse physical damage.
That's going to be more valuable to you anyway.
Yeah.
It's more of a totem for you to have.
Yep.
Yeah, but you get him here, and you get that. Do we want to do the other side quests? Since
let's just we're heading back.
The way back, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you head back, and you're actually going back into 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about this at the time because it's inaccessible, but in the area right before the Tower Knight, there is a jail that you could head down into.
Yeah, it's a door that if you don't know to double back, it's kind of like the door faces the entrance to the Tower Knight guy. So like if you're not quite sure, like one bleeds you up and you get like a soul item or something, but the other one's locked.
There's a crystal lizard up there.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I would never think to look for a locked door there. So
No,
it's
it
not,
looks like
it's not
scenery.
obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. I only knew it because I tried it on my way in. So I was like, okay, I know I need to come back here. And then after I got this key, I tried to go to where Uriah was. That didn't work, and then I went back here.
Yeah.
So, but the nice thing is you head down here and you get introduced to, what in a game that doesn't have, that many characters in it. Like I really like Bjor quite a bit. I think he is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And you go down here and he's in jail. It's kind of just hanging out and sleeping. He's trapped by a fat official. You can kill the fat official and free him. But you don't really free him. Like he decides to go back to sleep, which like, what have you been doing? What have you been doing this entire, like, who knows how long you've been here, Bjor?
Which, like, of all the excuses that you get from NPCs, it has to be something to do with, the quest flags kind of thing. Like Uriah's, I'm weakened. I'll meet you there later. Blah blah blah. Just so she can sit there and not have to despawn. Like, so you don't have to escort her through the level like you would Ostrava.
Yeah.
But
I
for him, it's
appreciate
kind of like.
Yeah, well, he's not going to go back to the Nexus. He hangs out here.
Yeah,
but he's just going to make his entrance. But he's got like a real good big dumb warrior voice.
Yeah,
that I like, and I like the idea of these dudes a lot. Bjor and the other guy Valarfax. There's a weird bit where Ostrava gets them mixed up and says that Valarfax is the one who made it back, but it's actually Bjor, and I think it's just an error. It's either like an error on behalf of the writers, or just a suggestion that Ostrava is a clueless dolt and doesn't know what he's doing.
Ostrava makes a couple mistakes. At least one other one that I've called out in the notes.
Yeah. He's one of the lore video by Video Game Talking Head that we had on the show. His Bolletarian royal family one. He thinks that Ostrava has information from a secondhand or like a third-hand party, and that's why. But there's not anything really to underline that.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, you free Balor.
Bjor.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baloo. You free Baloo.
Yeah.
You learn the bare necessities, and then
Solare necessities. But you get another set of keys and a jaunty cap.
I love that hat.
Me too. I wish it was better. Like it's a terrible piece of armor. It's as heavy as any other, piece of. I was wearing the assassin mask at this point, and it's as heavy but provides almost no protection at all.
Blah.
But it looks really cool.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely dwarfed by my binded cross or whatever it was. Yeah, my gimp suit. But yeah, you get some bloodier keys, which means there's somebody who's in more danger.
And then eventually, in the fourth Hearthstone, you would have been able to get the bloodiest keys.
Yeah,
but they cut those out.
They're just keys that are made entirely of blood.
Yeah, just frozen blood. Like there's an artist that did that. Have you guys ever seen that guy?
Oh no! Please put that in the notes.
There's the modern artist. I can't remember his name, but he withdrew whatever the maximum safe amount of blood you can withdraw from yourself a day. Kept it and then sculpted a bust of his head, like made a mold and made a version of his head out of frozen blood. So,
that's metal as fuck.
Yup.
Yeah. I mean, so the hippie liberal person in me is like, somebody could have used that blood, but like, I don't know what statement he was trying to make, but yeah.
It's his blood.
As fuck. It is his blood. He can do what he wants with it.
Yeah, and somebody could have used it, but also, like, I can do whatever I want with my blood.
Yeah, I do it too. The hemoglobin delivers oxygen to my cells so I can continue to live.
Yeah.
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 Every day I don't commit suicide is a day that I continue to opt using my blood.
Yeah. You just, blood is an opt-in thing. You just, it's at will flow. Yeah.
Don't flow it at me.
Oh God! Send all of your fan blood to Will Owens, courtesy of.
Please.
Yeah. Fanblood.net. Dave Matthews.
Welcome, curator of the blood blog. Me.
blood blog.
The bloog.
Welcome to Will Owens' blood blog.
Ew, I don't like that voice.
It has an animated GIF.
I was turning you into a Vincent Price character for your blood blog. You're going.
But anyway, the bloodiest keys.
Oh, we'll put that on the whiteboard for now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll work on that a little.
Kick the tires on that.
Ideas.txt on the desktop.
Oh man!
Mm-hmm.
But
with bloodier keys, you can go kind of frustratingly late in the game, unlock your third magic trainer in the game by doing a weird, like a real anomaly for the Souls games, which is this little puzzle you have to do to get to it.
Yeah.
Like these games don't do this.
Does the hat always spawn?
Yes.
Okay, because I must have lost it, because I remember for my sorcerer, I somehow didn't get access to her, which is bad, because she's got the... Well, we'll go on.
yeah, she's got Firestorm.
Yeah, she's useful. But yeah, one of the fat officials gives you his hat, and then you have to go through this kind of winding alleyway to this tower. That looks really cool. This run up to this tower with this, big monolithic stone block in the middle of it. But she's being up there, who knows what's happening to her on behalf of fat officials. But you have to fool one of the fat officials into thinking that you are a fat official by wearing his hat. So it's this entire hat-based recognition system.
It's like stacking.
Yeah. Just they can only see you if you're wearing a hat. And you trick them into lowering the drawbridge and get up there and then stab them a bunch. And then just showing that these people have this major Clark Kent thing going on. Yuria still thinks you're a fat official if you're wearing the hat. It's just a hat. What are you doing?
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I walk around with a fireman's helmet on. They don't know that it's a hipster affectation.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, I guess people would probably think you're a fireman. I think I've said this before somewhere on mic, but a couple years ago I did dispatch for public safety for a university, and the uniform that they give you is indistinguishable from a policeman's uniform. And I lived in fear of that, walking to work. Oh, I'm going to grab a soda, stop in this convenience store. I go in the convenience store, somebody pulls a gun, and then everyone's looking at me to do anything. And it's no, they just dress me like this. Get me in front of a radio, I'll call for help. That's all I can do.
It's like walking around in bloody scrubs.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm choking. I need a tracheotomy. Oh no.
No, I'm just on the band. I can't help you.
I'm just a murderer, pal. I can't save you.
I'm just a Dexter. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole hat situation, it reminds me of, did you see the Upright Citizens Brigade where the guy keeps putting on the werewolf mask? And the woman keeps thinking he's a werewolf even though he's just put on the mask.
Yeah. So a couple things about Yuria. She came to Boletaria because she was tempted by demon souls, as everybody is. She felt hey, I might as well do this because everybody thinks I'm a witch anyway because my magic is disordered.
Because I dress like a witch.
Yeah. Just because I ride a broom around and just because I am fixated on Eyes of Newt. No. But yeah, so she was captured by Meralda. As I assume Bior was as well.
Yeah,
maybe?
I think that Bior. I think that my guess, and I'm thinking back to what we talked about in our 1112 episode, is that Bior stuck around to protect the king, and while Valorfax went to go get help, Bior was captured. Thusly, Yuria was captured, and then when Valorfax came back, that's when Meralda killed him and threw him to the bottom of that well.
Yeah, to the corpse pit.
Yeah, so that's what I think happened. And but yeah, so I imagine that she captured Bior as well. The question is why she's capturing anyone as opposed to executioning them.
Yeah, doing your fucking job.
Yeah, do your job. I do not know why they've captured Yuria. It's a weird, and she's in this tower all by herself, this specially built tower. It's very strange.
It's a long way to take her.
Yeah, I don't think she has enough backstory to really necessitate what's going on. I don't really know why she's there.
All I can think of is she's valuable as somebody who knows how to how to channel the soul arts. If Allant is to maintain his reign as somebody who's using the soul arts to, destroy the world. He would be able to harness that somehow by keeping them alive as opposed to being dead. Same reason why, Frake was being kept alive by the yellow demon. In order to, because he's useful, right?
It makes a kind of sense for Yuria. It doesn't make any sense for Bior. Like why Bior would be kept alive.
Yeah, true.
Unless there's the demon that has taken over Allant's form has some kind of memory imprinted and some kind of affection, for him or some
either that or Bior was captured very recently.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he's in a holding.
They were trying to find somebody to come and give him his last rites and feed his last meal.
Yeah, he's waiting for a call for the governor.
Yeah,
who's also a land.
Yes. Also, if you talk to Yuria at the end game, she is really, really suspicious of Frake. She's like, "Yeah, people call me a heretic, but that dude is like really, really crazy." If there is a God, he gave us souls to do good, not to practice witchcraft. My accusers detested my dark arts for good reason. For the path I have taken is tainted. This has been one of my realizations since coming to Boletaria. So, she is definitely afraid of the power that she channels.
Yeah, and Frake is interesting. When you talk to Frake about her, it's interesting, too, because he's very cold and detached. Yeah. He says, like, oh, her magic is different than mine. I wonder if it has to do with her gender. Like, that is his line. So
maybe it has something to do with hysteria.
Yeah, she's a girl. So
Vagina-mancy.
Yeah, she's 6th level pussomancer. Gross.
Yep.
It's gonna be like a Kanye West album at some point. Like, let's create your life as a pussomancer. Anywho, you rescue her. She can give you very good spells, and it's a good thing to do because she's a good person.
Yeah. Hope you didn't use those souls.
Yeah, exactly. You get this so late in the game. I mean, the big thing, she gives you cursed weapon, which is really good, and she gives you the Hellstorm or what have you, Hellfire. Yeah. Those are the two kind of the money ones that she can give you. And at the very least, for the Hellfire one, that's also where you would get the Lava Bow. There are other spells you can get from that are also useful. But
I think you can get the. I think that the Lava Bow is separate from Firestorm.
No, I don't think so. I think the Lava Bow is made from the dragon.
I've had both. The Lava Bow is from the spider.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah, maybe you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel. Wrath of the. Okay, I knew there was something else that you maybe would want instead of the Firestorm. It's the Wrath of the Gods. That comes from the dragon god.
Yeah, and that's
so
that's what I was thinking. That's a different build too.
Yeah. Yep. I knew it was an opportunity cost, like one way or another. Like there was two good things to do with that soul. And those are the two things you could do.
Yeah.
Anywho,
man, World 2 has really good souls.
Yeah. Yep. So you kind of do this final run up. There's a lot of different knights and fat officials and stuff. And in general, you're just going to pull them. It's hard if you don't have a distance weapon, but you can get through it.
Yeah.
And you go into this final little gatehouse here. And the fat official is taunting you and standing in front of a fog gate doing it.
Making you believe that that he will be your boss encounter. Like maybe he will go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, he's going to turn into super fat official.
Yeah.
Fatter official. But instead he gets stabbed in the back by the penetrator.
So whenever I hear the name of the penetrator, all I think of is like that was the model name for that fuck machine from Burn After Reading.
Yeah, that's probably well, that was definitely a homemade.
Oh yeah, he was like
it was just
stuff.
Yeah, he was just excited that he made it.
So he called it the penetrator.
Yeah, he could. I mean, who knows what he called it? But there's no model or anything like that.
Okay, there we go.
It was just
I wish more people liked that movie because I like that movie.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Like it's like middling. Coen Brothers, like it's not bad,
which is still good. Like
middling
Coen Brothers is still really good.
Yeah. It's still good.
Yeah, but
I feel the same way about A Serious Man. That's my man. I wish more people like that movie. As far as Coen Brothers stuff goes, like that movie, I feel like it's kind of an unfair shit taken upon it. But Anywho, the penetrator.
Yeah, comes through and penetrates the fat official, and then just wipes him off. And now you are fighting this really, really aggressive swordsman.
Yeah, yeah, which shares some DNA with some Dark Souls fights. Like it's mildly a little Artorias-y. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially because he stabs the guy and tosses him aside.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And
it's almost exact.
Yeah, and it's a fun fight. And again, just another. Like, Bior, if you saved him and didn't murder him for Mephistopheles like I did, then he shows up to help you here and just kind of takes the fight Tarkus style.
Oh, yeah.
And there's you don't need to do anything.
From what I understand, like, in later playthroughs, it gets really, really hairy with Bior. But yeah, like on playthrough 1, you really just have to take pot shots.
Yeah, he's got this.
I still had an easy time because he would tank him while I used I had the Insanity Catalyst and Ring of Magical Sharpness, so just a few fireballs, and then that was it.
That's it for him. Go ahead.
Easy. It was really easy compared to the rest of the level for me.
He's a real fun fight, like mano a mano, like without Bior. Like it's real. It's not quite Artorias good, but it's tricky and relies a lot. You have to be good at dodging, and such.
He telegraphs a lot.
Yep.
Which is good. It works in your favor because he can cover obviously more ground than you can.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he hits like a truck, which I feel like I say about every boss, but it's especially true for him.
His sword is much longer than it looks, though, too.
Yeah,
because there's like a spectral sword come out from it when he swings his sword.
Yeah, it kind of extends.
It's hard to judge.
That's kind of the concept behind him. Is this like really expanded threat radius? Around him, so it's like in D&D terms, he has reach, so it makes it kind of hard to close the distance without getting hurt.
And his posture makes his hitbox really weird, like trying to maneuver around him with his kind of like, for lack of a better word, gangly as he is, gets really, really difficult. At least I found this time.
Yeah. But it's a fun fight. I like this fight a lot.
Yeah. And it kind of stands in contrast to what comes later. I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to Atlant, but they're both very similar fights on the surface, but different when you get down to the particulars. This feels more fair.
Yeah, I actually like the Atlant fight a lot. Me too. We'll talk about that in just a minute.
Yes, we will.
So you kill the Penetrator, and you get his soul, which can turn into 2 different weapon buffs. Light weapon, which is essentially magic weapon, like a better version of magic weapon, and then cursed weapon, which makes your weapon even stronger, but also drains your health.
Right.
And that's a really powerful buff.
Yeah, curse weapon's kind of the way to go, right? That's similar to what's that pyromancy? The
Power Within.
Yeah.
It's excellent. Like it's very, very powerful. So if you have a build that can use it, that's a really good use for his soul.
Yeah. Next time I need to take advantage of that because I stuck with the enchanted blades, so I couldn't use any buffs on my weapon, and they're really useful. So I need to next time do that, or just make a new one. Make a new blade and use them.
The way that I've been, like, my first times through Souls games, since I'm so white knuckle, keeping shield up and tiptoeing through each level, I never really used buffs because you only get a couple of them, and it seemed this will be useful for bosses, but there's all this stuff between bosses. I'd rather just have a consistent weapon and not have to have a slightly weaker weapon that I just buff for bosses. But anymore, like and not so much in Demon Souls, more in Dark Souls, like I don't end up fighting a lot of the things. There are more things that I just run past. And so like a buff build would actually make a lot of sense. Because if I can use it 3 times between bonfires or 3 times on a magic bar, that's probably enough. Like there are probably 3 meaningful encounters that I can't just kind of walk around,
Right.
Yeah.
So. And then that's that's for like replaying and trying new stuff. Like I'd much rather just take it step by step on a first playthrough of any of these games.
Yeah, it's a little bit deeper. Like once you start getting into the texture of different play styles.
Yeah. Agreed. Cool. So this opens up 1-4, the only world that has a 4. As we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we're brought to you by Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/bonfireside chat, they give you this tokeny thing to download a free piece of audio entertainment. Some people, certain witches, are going to say that you don't need to use this token, that you shouldn't use tokens, that Audible didn't give us these tokens to use on audiobooks. but don't listen to her. Hashtag Team Frake. Just, I don't even like that joke. Anyway, just go to audibletrial.com/bonfireside-chat.
So not only is 1-4 the only 4 in the game, but this is the only archdemon area that is substantial. Like, there's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Here. It's not just a vestibule to a dragon.
Yeah.
which is the fifth entry in some kind novel. Of like fantasy series. Yeah, a vestibules to dragons. It's the new
Ted Williams' new novel.
Yeah, the new Song of Ice and Fire.
Yep, a vestibule for dragons.
He's running out of ideas before he dies.
Yeah, so this first this area is difficult, and this first area is a real smack in the face with a triple Black Phantom party. Triple crossbowmen, and then so some triple Black Phantoms.
Triple crossbowmen atop a corpse of a dragon, which you likely have not killed one of yet. So you know that there's something up here that's going to fuck some shit up. And it's not these guys; it's what's standing behind them. But
and they're just the best crossbowmen in the business.
Oh yeah,
we did it, boys.
Yeah.
However, they're no problem, and instead you go through there, and there are 3 Black Phantoms, who all represent the bosses that you faced.
Yeah,
in this area, these are the human, like the not human forms, the Black Phantom forms.
Yeah,
the non demon evolved versions.
Yeah. So like the human forms are what you fought. Is the impression that I get. The ones that were corrupted and brought out, but their phantoms or soul forms have been bound to this area, and they've been they've been consigned into service of Alant.
Yep. So you fight one of them that has the tower. Is the one has the tower shield and the scraping spear, making it a little bit confusing. But we're pretty sure that one is the tower knight, and then the archer is actually the phalanx, right?
Yes.
I think that's a consensus.
That's what I believe. It's either that or it's reversed, because I know that those two have like a symbiotic relationship, where one has shieldies protecting them, and the other one has archers protecting them.
Yeah. Yep. And then there's somebody with a penetrator sword.
Yeah. Who
represents your buddy you just fought.
Yeah. And it's like fighting a D&D party of other characters, of other players.
Like
all of which have good.
Or I was going to say like the woods in Dark Souls.
Yeah, except these all have legendary weapons.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a Vorpal sword and a hand of Vecna and a fucking bag of holding off to the side.
Yeah, guys, I know what we're talking about.
I understood that reference.
Yeah,
actually, I've played NetHack. I do get it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is actually more sad than playing D&D. So,
I would
room floor.
No, it's Gary said it. I'll put a marker.
Yeah, you're sucking up to the wrong person here.
Yeah, no. I mean, we've all played NetHack, right?
I played a little bit of NetHack.
Yeah,
I've never got into it.
Not good, but I feel like that's an important part of being literate about roguelikes.
Yeah, I've tried it. I played it a little bit. I've never made significant progress. I love the idea of it. But I tend to enjoy my roguelikes mostly when they're mixed with a little something.
Oh yeah.
I need a little bit of. I can't take it straight. Like I need a little bit of dilution.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. It's great when you're depressed.
Oh, man.
Every single character, beat it.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's that swings back around and becomes a point of pride. I don't from an outsider's point of view, I haven't put the hours in that you have. I don't have that grim perspective that you do. But
I was pretty down when I did my my hundreds of hours, like 100% Binding of Isaac thing too. There's something to mindless roguelikes that you can listen to a podcast or watch something on at the same time. Well, they just I'm just killing hours.
I think that even if you're not depressed, like I've fallen into this with Starbound. Like even if you're not depressed, playing a game like that is just kind of a continuous game, it manifests as depression. Like I'm not talking to people, I'm just kind of focused and sitting here and falling into a hole. Even if I have no reason to be depressed, you don't need a reason to be depressed, but like I am not depressed right now. It just really, really seems like it because Minecraft or Starbound or Isaac.
Yeah, because all you're doing is just like, now it's 3 hours later.
Yep.
I am
monomaniacally obsessed with this.
Isaac is depressing, though.
Isaac actually is sad to itself. Like it is, it's meant to be a little bit sad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Poop baby. But yeah.
Yep.
This is a D&D party, though. Fortunately, because they're Black Phantoms, specifically player kind of Black Phantoms, not Black Phantom enemies. Oh, God, help me, I'm digging a hole. They don't respawn. Fortunately, they don't respawn.
Yes. Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's mostly just a signal to you that shit's real, like as soon as you get in here. If you take these guys out, and again, as long as you can pull them, you can do it.
Thieves' Ring helps.
Yeah, Thieves' Ring helps. You don't want to fight all three of these guys at once. But you get past them. You go through this tower filled with Red-Eye Knights, like with a real trappy fucking little crystal lizard right there. That just, you're attacking him while the Red-Eye Knight comes and stabs you in the back. But you get through that, you get through the tower, and then it's our buddy, the Blue Dragon, from earlier, and a bridge with fat officials. This dragon, not this encounter, but the next one, is probably the thing that has killed me the most in this game.
Yeah.
Out of everything, this next part. Here it's just a bridge. You just run across it. No big deal.
Yeah.
But then you get up to the top, and so you can kind of shoot him with arrows here. If you get him down to half health, he'll run away.
Yeah.
But you run past, you go up a tower, and there's this huge staircase that's leading up to a lot, just full of corpses. Just corpsey. And the dragon at the top. And he's just breathing fire. Like an environmental hazard, like you get in these games where he's breathing fire at regular intervals. You have to run by. But I die here, and I die here, and I die here so many fucking times I've gotten, like, roasted alive here.
I hope and I pray that with Dark Souls 2 being primarily about fighting dragons, from what I can see, I hope that they manage to do some kind of dragon encounter right. Like, they had hints of doing it right with Calamite.
I think Calamete's pretty right.
Calamite was good,
Yeah, but like,
I don't know what I would have them do different with Calamite. Like, he has...
So I'm thinking specifically of the Red Dragon in 1-2, and then this, and then Hell.
Yeah.
Like specifically, like these set piece dragon fights just don't work. Like, it's badass running up that staircase towards, your ultimate goal, and the last thing standing between you is a fucking fire god. But like, you're right. You just die way too much.
And Dragon God, too. So pretty much they're at 20% success for dragon fights.
At
this point. Like, I agree with, I mean, I would love to see more Calamites, but like, luckily Calamite's the most recent thing they've done.
Yeah, true.
So there's reason to believe that they're going to make those better fights. Mm-hmm. This is not a good fight. Nope. It's only a fight if you want it to be.
Right.
Like, really, you just have to get past him. I ended up killing him this last time just because if I died, I didn't want to fucking do it again.
And you just need a fuckload of arrows, because if you get up underneath him, he can't hit you.
Yeah, and it's tons of arrows. It's so many goddamn arrows.
Like, I think my first playthrough, it took like 150, 175, something like that.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
Like, you're just sitting there and just tapping.
Well, you hit him, and then he retracts and then comes back.
Yep.
Yeah, the kunai help, those poisoned throwing knives,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, not so much. Bior makes this a little bit easier as well, just because he will distract the dragon for you. He's kind of your sacrificial.
Stands in the fire.
Yeah. Yep. He literally is your scapegoat. He burns so you don't have to.
But of course, I killed him because I wanted a stone of ephemeral eye for some goddamn reason.
Oh shit. So does the blue dragon just always target you? His pattern is he goes from like your right to left, and then from your left to right. The trick is and it's pretty consistent. So even though he can switch it up, he mostly will do that. After he does your right, you can run up the right side of the stairwell. The trick is that he doesn't always do it consistently. So sometimes he'll go from right to left, and then while you're right in the danger zone, he'll just do it again without going the other way. Sure.
And the other thing is it's so hard to judge distances on the staircase.
Yeah.
Like knowing exactly how far I need to run and where you can see the scorch mark area where you can't be, but how far back that goes.
Right.
Like there's no way to tell. And there's no safe areas on the way. There's no way to like block the fire. Like you can probably like make a chart of From Software's progression with getting better with dragons, because the red dragon or the Hellkite Drake is better than this dragon.
Yep.
Like, when you're trying to run past him, there's those little safe areas on the bridge. He doesn't kill you in one shot. He doesn't, and this guy didn't kill me in one shot. He knocked me down with one shot and then just fired, just did it again. So
he just effectively killed you with one shot.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So like the Hellkite Drake is better than this because you have safe spots at the very least.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so hard to find like the proper spot. And the run up to this is not fun. Like it's not that long if you're just running past everybody, but running past everybody is risky.
Yeah.
So it's, and the first time I went through this when I was dying on this guy, just stopping and killing all of the enemies on the way here was fucking infuriating. Like I hate this motherfucker. Like this is one of the most frustrating boss encounters in the game for me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Blech. And you don't even get anything good for killing him. You get like 10,000 souls.
Something like
Great.
that. It's a disposable soul item.
Yep. Great. Thanks.
So bad. Yeah. But you take him out. Like I ended up taking him out anyway, just on both these playthroughs for the same reason you did. Just because I didn't feel like bothering with it. Will, how about you? Like as a caster?
I just ran by. That's what I've done every single game.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much. I can't be bothered to sit there and shoot 200 arrows at stuff.
At anything.
You have to...
At anything, yeah.
Sit down, turn on a podcast, and just power through it and hope nobody criticizes you for listening to a podcast while you play a game.
Yeah.
Well, it's like those boss encounters where you can shoot arrows through the fog door.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You can, but it takes so long. I'd rather just...
You can, but it only makes sense for the man-eater, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, and even then you're kind of cheating yourself out of... In that situation, you could argue you're cheating yourself out of a unique encounter.
True.
In this one, you're not cheating yourself out of anything. There's nothing gained, everything ventured.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as gameplay-wise.
Yeah.
So... Not a fun fight.
You get in here. If Ostrava is still alive, he will be all dejected because he's seen what his father has become.
Yep.
He talks like he's seeing Slug a lot. Oh, also, all spoilers are off.
Yeah. We talked about Cat Dog last episode.
Okay.
He's talking about like at least Slug a lot, or at the very least, like I was paying attention to that dialogue too when I just replayed it, or like that they had a dialogue. Like I could also see like he went up and he talked to him and he's just like, this is not my father anymore. Like he's become a beast or something like that.
Yeah.
So it could definitely be Cat Dog a lot, but it could also be, this guy's a crazy, insane asshole and is definitely not my dad anymore. And what a fucking downer Ostrava's storyline is.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of amazing. Like how bleak it is. And that's always, straight up prepare to cry style. But like Ostrava is the NPC that fits in with the Dark Souls. Dark Souls has 3 or 4 characters that have this really, really tragic long storyline. Ostrava is the only one in this game that really seems to. Mm-hmm. But just this idea of this kind of, this royal son who's never quite been capable, kind of trying to come back home and get to his father who he believes will fix everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
And, has to constantly be bailed out and then shows up to his father and finds him to be a demon and then just decides to kill himself. Like, it's real bleak. Real bleak.
I forget, does he kill himself in front of you? Like, it's
always...
Yeah. So he gives you the mausoleum key. That's the way to come by it, honestly.
Yep.
But,
yeah. But yeah, he just dies and then his Black Phantom shows up right away.
Yeah, his Black Phantom shows up, regardless of if he dies here or if he dies earlier.
And here's a minor spoiler for the Mephistopheles stuff we'll talk about next episode. If he dies here, it doesn't count towards like killing him for her quest.
What? Do you have to kill him in the Nexus?
Yep. So you get to choose like completing one of their quest lines. You can't complete both.
Okay.
Ugh.
It's frustrating. And he's the only one who gives you a meaningful reward. If like you kill him for Mephistopheles, you get a Talisman of Beasts.
Mm.
But if he just dies, you get nothing.
Okay.
So
Blech.
yeah, frustrating.
Yeah.
He's dead. I killed the Black Phantom version of him. What more do you want, lady?
Exactly.
Like, here's this goddamn sword I'm not going to use.
So you don't get credit if he dies by his own hand? Okay.
Nope.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, she doesn't. How does she know? But
soul arts.
You fight the Black Phantom version of him, which is kind of tough. Like, he does tons of magic damage. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have a magic resistant shield, you're going to take tons of chip. From this thing.
Yeah. Also, this this is a gigantic railway-less bridge. So I got here. I was like, okay, I got past the blue dragon. I didn't kill it, and then I died by falling off of it while circle strafing him. And then that made me decide, okay, I've got to kill the blue dragon because I am going to be walking through this again. And then I proceeded to kill not only Ostrava the next time, but also False King a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the line ends here.
Yeah. but yeah, he has the rune equipment, which is pretty good. In terms of specialty equipment, right?
I've never used it, but it looks good on paper at the very least.
Yeah.
It looks cool. Looks good on paper and looks good in real life.
He's a Latrian sissy boy.
Yeah. Yep. Well, he's from here. I think he was at. I think when we did the Latria episode, we were conjecturing the reason why you find that stuff there is because he visited.
I believe, and I'm going to have to look up the item descriptions.
He's
for
looking for Rydell, maybe because Rydell, I think, is his uncle.
Oh yeah.
That
is entirely possible. But I believe that the rune equipment has Latrian origins or descent.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's where he got it. That's what we decided.
Yeah, I believe that the conjecture that we had was that he was sent off there for education.
Oh,
he was sent there to study.
Yeah. Yep.
And when he came back,
everything got all shitty with demons.
Yeah, everything got all shitty with demons, and he was getting a pampered royal kids education.
Yeah.
When in reality he should have been on the streets getting the school of hard knocks. Am I right?
Bueller should have been beating him up nonstop, toughing him up.
Yeah.
Here, kid. First lesson.
Okay, so let's get away for a 15-minute anime training sequence.
Yeah.
Take it to the limit. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, so you take the world's longest elevator ride, which here's a little thing. Let's say you're in this elevator ride and you decide to get up and get some coffee. If you get to the top of the elevator and don't go through the fog door, it goes back down. So you can do it 3 times. So make sure you're paying attention during this infinite elevator ride. So that's a little bit frustrating. But you go through the fog door at the top of the elevator to fight the real final boss of the game.
Yeah.
False King a lot.
It is a really, really neat arena.
Yeah.
I like that. That intro, him looking out over his destroyed kingdom from his destroyed throne room.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
Yep. Very cool. And, he's, and it's mostly a good fight. It reminds me, it's like a mix between, an Artorias and a, Gwen. Yeah. He ends up doing the kind of he does a faster teleport thing, but he does that kind of dash from across the map thing that Gwen does.
This was actually my favorite fight in the whole game. This one.
Yeah. Cool. It's really good. It doesn't, and the nice thing too about it is that it doesn't, at the level I was at the very least, he was never one-shotting me. I could make mistakes and he would punish me for them. And then I would be able to kind of run away and heal up and kind of come back. Yeah. So it was I was kind of getting better at the fight during the fight. The first time I was here, which was, kind of fun and kind of nice.
He gives you a lot of room to do that improvement, just because he really only has 3 functional attacks if you're managing your distance from him. So that teleport attack is really, really easy to dodge if you just roll right.
Yeah.
Which was my big secret to beating this both runs through. And then there's the crazy wave of explosion attack, which you can you can stop that, right?
I've never done it. I always just run away and use that opportunity to buff up or heal.
Yeah.
If you do enough damage, he'll get stunned.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember having a much easier time of this as my ranged fighter than as a melee guy. How do you two feel about the de-leveling attack? Because I think that's kind of some bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. He's only hit me with it once, I think, though.
Okay.
I think that in concept it's bullshit, but I also, at this point in the game, it wasn't very much of a threat.
Yeah.
So in practice, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, stuff like that scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Because I just hate it. I don't know, it gives me anxiety. Any enemies that can drain you or do anything like that, I will run. I will run from no matter what game it is, because lost progress is my least favorite thing.
Yeah. And it's permanent too, which like when I first read that it was permanent, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like that should not be the case.
Yeah.
But it is permanent. Like it would make sense if it was just for the battle and you were just a little bit less effective, even though, one stat point is not going to make very much of a difference usually.
Yeah.
So that's not gonna be that big a deal. The other thing that really sucks about this level drain thing is having in this game allowed hacking in Dark Souls to be the most bullshit things you can hack in Dark Souls, because they use some of the same code, so hackers are able to add the mechanic from Soulsucker to their weapons.
Jesus.
So that's why there's like level drain hacking in Dark Souls, is because this guy has it.
Oh man.
Yep. So his
legacy
reach,
of bullshit.
Yeah, his reach through the ages. Yeah. Like I said, I don't like it in concept at all. I don't think it makes sense for him to be soul hungry, etc. What I would have accepted was him draining your active number of souls you had, as opposed to levels. Like he had an attack and then your souls bottomed out. Because, at this point, maybe you have, you just killed Ostrava, you maybe killed the Blue Dragon, you maybe have like 50,000 souls, 40,000 souls. It's pretty decent. And that would still feel like a crushing blow, but it wouldn't be like permanent progress loss. Like you could just get that back.
Yeah.
And
I
still
could accept.
fit.
I could accept if it was just for the fight, but if it's permanent, it's no good.
And, level debuffs are a thing, like even in, Final Fantasy, which is much more generous than anything approaching Souls would be.
It's a D&D thing too, but I think in D&D it's usually reversible.
A little bit, yeah. Like if you have a priest or a cleric rather, or
you head on down to the church.
Yeah. But I like this fight a lot, just because it does feel fair. Aside from that thing we just spent 5 minutes talking about how unfair it was, much like the Penetrator does, but Penetrator feels just a little bit better than this to me, anyway. Although I have to appreciate this thematically more than Penetrator.
He doesn't. And the thing is, I mean, it's when we talk about the de-leveling attack, he doesn't even do it that often.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty rare. I feel like you have to kind of just be standing next to him, not blocking for a while.
Yeah.
To tempt him into doing it.
And by this point in any Souls game, especially if you're coming into this with Dark Souls knowledge, to manage your distance. Because that is a huge part of any combat here.
Yeah. But you kill him eventually. And you get his soul, from which you can make the Northern Regalia, which is kind of the ultimate weapon of the game.
Yeah.
You kind of stick together to the Soul Brand and the Demon Brand, which are the two. One of them is better against demons. One of them is better against humans. Or one of them is more powerful the more evil you are. The other one is more powerful the better you are.
They respond to character tendency.
Yeah. And and you can kind of fuse those together into the Northern Regalia, which Regalia means clothes, but we'll forgive us that. And and to do it, you have to go to the Demon Brand, which you've got it in the notes here, but we talked about King Doran in the first episode.
Did we? Okay, I forget if we. I didn't know if we deferred it or not.
No, we talked about it there.
Okay,
so
yeah. So you go there and you fight this cool looking guy in awesome armor with a sweet mask. And
take his sword, and then you have both swords, and you're ready for the actual end game.
No, you don't get the other sword until the final fight with Allant. Like it's down there in the inside the old one himself, or inside.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean now. I just meant like, and then you're heading into the. What I was gonna say is you end up using Northern Regalia for New Game Plus.
Oh yeah, it definitely is New Game Plus.
Yeah. And it's the only time you'll ever need it too. So
yep.
And that's it for 1.4. There's a couple tendency things that happen during here, but they're not that noteworthy. And both of them, it's mostly just primeval demons and extra, Black Phantom fat officials. And then, so the next episode is when we're going to take it to the limit and actually go down into the bottom of the Nexus and do all kinds of endgame conjecture stuff.
Yep. So that's just going to be the two of us, right, Gary?
Yep. As our tradition, opening and ending each season on our own, and then our tradition of season 3 opening, middling, and ending our seasons on our own, most likely. So just real quick, I wanted to put out a call. for that episode, if you have, that is your time for wrap-up thoughts.
Yes.
And that can be all of the big fucking crazy cosmology of this game. So if you have insane theories like, oh, this is a prequel to Dark Souls, if you what do you think the old one is? What's the Maiden in Black? What do you think she is? Lay that stuff on us for next episode.
And even if you don't have thoughts, let us know which ending you chose.
Oh,
I would like to take kind of an unofficial poll to see what the Bonfire Side Chat community chooses in that regard. Specifically, Will, what did you go with your first time playing through?
I think the first time I killed the maiden. Because I read don't you get a weapon or something?
You get Soul Sucker.
You get her soul, and then you can King of Lant that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I did that. So, just as the game, it was a practical ending, so that's what I chose.
Yep. But either of those things, crazy lore conjecture or letting us know what you chose, that is duckfeed.tv/contact or facebook.com/bonfiresidechat.
Still plenty of time. Will, I know that you had talked about it being kind of laying fallow for a little while, but you are relaunching the blog, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm going to try to keep going, but in a more casual pace, because I rarely buy new games, so I'll just pick and choose what I want to play, because, it's less pressure, and I can play what I want naturally, so... Yeah, so hopefully 2014 I'll do it, get going. I'm not sure what game first. I'm thinking of Ultima 5, but I'm not sure. So
the ones you've mentioned to me, that's my vote. Like the reason why, one of the reasons why I want you to restart the blog is that I feel like you end up playing a lot of games that I'm interested in, but I don't don't fit into my schedule or anything. Like I'm like, oh, I've always wanted to play like all the Might and Magic games. I own them on GOG, but if I'm not going to take the time to play all of the Might and Magics, will play one of them. And tell me about it, because Will likes really obtuse CRPGs, and I do too. But I want to read about them.
I played a lot of the first one. I played like 20 hours, and I barely got anywhere, so I will not be playing that one.
Right.
But 6, I'll probably start with that one because I've beaten 3 to 5. But yeah, I like playing not weird games, but more not necessarily difficult, but things with tough mechanics. I like to get into. So yeah. That's what I enjoy. So look forward to weird games with difficult mechanics that I'll explain in depth in my interesting blog in 2014.
That is called the Backlog Killer.
Yeah. Indeed. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'll make it entertaining if I try to.
In addition, while I'm talking Will up, Will has a very funny Twitter account as well. Which is...
if you enjoy doo-doo jokes and playing video games, then maybe you'll enjoy my Twitter.
Yeah.
I think you're overestimating your audience.
Yeah, I know. They like doo-doo jokes. They like, I think earlier in the episode, Pussomancer? Was it? Like, this is not a high-minded crew.
No.
They can handle your poop jokes.
To be fair, we haven't had the big Pussomancer backlash of 2014 yet.
Yeah, that's true. If you have a real problem with our Pussomancer joke, please let us know. In addition, I would go check out Will on Twitter because he's very funny.
What is his Twitter handle?
It is chocolates is what it's his alias. So I always forget what the actual one is.
It's Great or Die, like Steve Brule.
Yeah.
SKR, the number 8, and then ORDIE.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's me revealed to the world. It was,
sorry to out you if that was a secret.
No. It's okay. It was supposed to be anonymous, but because my cousin got mad at my other one. He's like, you post too much gross stuff. I had to stop following you. So I made another one, and then it's even more gross. So there you go.
Nobody tell Will's cousin.
Yeah.
If
you're listening to this and you are Will's cousin,
let's all be cool.
Yeah, let's everybody be cool.
Sorry, Bradford. Don't follow that one.
Yeah, sorry, Brad. On behalf of Bonfireside Chat, sorry, Brad.
Can that be how we end every episode?
Sorry, Brad.
Sorry,
Brad.
Sorry, Brad.
Oh,
Brad.
Man.
I'm sorry, Brad. What do we have to plug, Cole?
Well, let's see here. Your Drunk Souls in relation to Souls is going to be up pretty quick, right?
Yeah, on YouTube. Here's a quick note. It is up now, and the place you can find that is youtube.com/watch out for fireballs. It's long. It's 6.5 hours long. There's a long chicken wing part in the middle of it where we're all playing and then also eating chicken wings. But we did drinking Souls rules, which essentially most common rules are if you beat a boss, everyone else drinks. If you die, you drink and pass the controller. Or you pass the controller on a boss too. And beat Dark Souls in 6.5 hours. Me, Levi, and Nick. Very fun. Had like chat open the whole time and interacted with people. And we had like 10 liquid humanities and we named them after people in chat. And then after we, used them to kindle, they died. And it was real fun. Like lots of goofiness. To be done, and some like really amazing little glitchy and just kind of emergent gameplay moments. We didn't have the money for the Crest of Artorias, so I decided to kill Andre, and killing an NPC is finishing your drink, but I wanted to speed up my drinking anyway. And he killed us 3 times before we were able to beat him, which I forgot exactly how hard that fight is, but it's kind of ridiculous. It should not be that hard. Also, more rare drops than I've ever had in any game.
Oh, wow.
We didn't get a Baldur side sword or a trident, but I think every other thing we got, like Black Knight shield, Black Knight sword, Painted Guardian sword, like we got all of the like rare drops.
At least you didn't get a Baldur side sword, because I would have just flipped my shit.
People in chat were talking about like that's why we weren't getting it, is because you were, or we might get it because you weren't there.
Yeah, because time zones. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's really fun and worth watching.
Yep.
Next time you've got an entire day to kill. Yeah.
But otherwise, we have shows, podcasts. Yep. Notably, since we're talking about Drunk Souls, you and Nick Glaber do a show called Check It Out, Comrade.
Yep.
Which is about indie games where you do little pitches to get people to check out cool indie stuff.
Yep. Super short.
Yep.
Check that out. I also do a show called Pilot Season, where the premise is there's a different premise every episode. The pitch is still kind of petering out, but that's evergreen, so it's worth going back to the beginning if you try one and like it. It's also a short show, so worth popping in on.
Yep.
And Cole, Those Damn Ross Kids is coming back.
Yes, it is. Here in the new year, we're trying to work out the specific details, but real life is a SOB, and we're trying to conquer that. It is time to laugh again, and hopefully we can all laugh again together.
Indeed. And also, in addition, The Level, where Cole does a show with himself and then 3 guys who don't like Dishonored. And they do like an audio magazine. Don't let that turn you off from it, but that is what the show is about. So, yeah.
It's about how 75% of people don't like Dishonored.
Yeah, it's about 3 guys who don't like Dishonored. It's one sane man in a room. The last sane man on a podcast.
The
in a world gone mad.
Asylum.
Yeah. Cole as the warden. These Dishonored haters.
In addition, watch out for fireballs, but you know about that. Because of the Dishonored thing. Also, if you found out about the network and this show because of the My Brother and Me ad, let us know. Please let us know.
Yeah.
And most of all, I would implore you, please check out Abject Suffering because it is just pure magic. It is pod magic.
Yeah, it's really funny. Not very many people listen to it. Yeah. Also short. And it's very funny. Also, Hexcrank, which is a blog that Cole does about survival horror.
I have been very bad about putting up new posts recently because of the winter holidays. But I assure you, there is a very hemming and hawing and let's say impatiently praising Friday the 13th post that is going to go up very soon.
The Duckfeed network is where you go for coverage on NES Friday the 13th, apparently. So
yeah, I am trying to balance it out because most of the articles so far, and I've scrapped most of it, has been a scathing criticism. Let's say it is akin to Luther's 99 protests or whatever it was. Theses. There we go. About why. Why internet negativism is bad, and why you should, and why James Rolfe, even though he is a person who works very hard, has spawned a bunch of really stupid things, and that chief among them is this pantheon of other stuff. Yeah, that's why it's all discarded. So I'm going to cut all this out. blood.
Yeah. Yep. You'll never be able to read about that.
Nope.
However,
but you will be able to read about Final Friday the
read-
13th. And the Sweet Home article is coming up. I fucking love Sweet Home.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Again, that's similar to that backlog killer thing where it's like,
Yeah.
I don't really feel like I have the time to invest in Sweet Home, but I'm glad that you are doing it. Like, I want to read someone talking about it more than I want to play it.
It is
Did you hear about the twist ending to Sweet Home? Is I heard it's not a very sweet home.
No. Kids be dying in an incinerator and shit. So,
Poor kids.
Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, that's...
Well, I guess this is a bloated admin section, but just putting things out of order. Also, we should mention that for this show, just in case you missed the last episode, we do have season 3 planned out, which is about Berserk, both the anime and the manga, and also Kingsfield 4. So I guess we talked about not really having guests on that. If you know anybody who's kind of a legendary fan of Berserk or Kingsfield 4, like some gaming journalist was like, man, do I love Kingsfield 4. It's the most underrated game in the PS2's library. Let us know, because I haven't read that.
Nor have I.
But I would love to hear it.
Yeah.
So
people are really going nuts about Berserk. We shared that, and people were liking it and
Berserk.
retweeting it. Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of like Berserk too. It's about a dude cutting dudes in half, but it's
it's just cutting people in half. I really want it to be more substantial than it is.
Me too.
Like, there's so little fucking story to that first volume.
From what I understand, it does get more substantial, but as anime and manga get more substantial, there's also room for more bullshit. So I I'm
really torn. It's a pacing nightmare. It's like it moves along at a good clip, and at the end, nothing has happened.
Yep.
So
I am teetering on the knife's edge of hoping for more, and also knowing that more would probably ruin it for me. So I am existing where I usually do, which is loving the idea but not the execution.
Yeah. But I'm going to give it some more. I think for the show we're just covering the first volume.
Yeah.
But we're both going to read a little bit further than that. So we might end up. We'll touch on some later stuff too. Yep. So until next time, what can they do, Cole?
Well, they can check out the Amazon link, Duckfeed.tv/tipjar. Snuck it in there. But really, just try jumping.
Yep, so the world might be mending.
Umbasa. Will?
Tane.
And we all pray that we will have far more soon